Hey guys, I recently recorded this on stream and I felt it was worth sharing on YouTube too. I'm going over my defensive setups in every part of every map here. The timestamps for each map and each bomb site and every other part of the map are going to be in the description. This was recorded before my most recent camera spot video, so there are some spots that aren't the best in this, and you also see me discovering some of those camera spots that I use in the video. I recommend checking out that video too. The link for that will be in the description. The link from my Twitch channel is also in the description, so go check that out too. So for A, my typical setup, I hope this camera still works. I put my camera here because it gives a pretty good view that you can put it more over to the left.
This goes here.
Luckily you can still see through this, but you got a perfect view there. You can't, those don't work, but it's really not a big deal to tag there anyway because they're just going to see, they'll probably see the camera regardless, but if you tag, they're definitely going to see it. And then that's the first thing I do because like a lot of these setups you have to go quick because you only have a certain amount of time before the round starts. But I like to trip here.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
And also anywhere in here, like you can put one here or back here. I usually set it up back here because it's harder to walk up and shoot this one because you have to move up a little bit. And this one's pretty much impossible to shoot unless you're getting hit by the wire already. There's also a lot of switch up spots. You can put it here or you can go here, anywhere along here. And then even like, you can't really go up there, but anywhere along this wall, you can get one up. And sometimes it's smarter to go this far back because then it'll cover the rotation too if no one pushes up here. And you can also throw a cage here too because
cage triggered.
You can see in it, which is like not usually a big advantage, but still an advantage nonetheless. And like if you put it down lower, on the ramp, you'll have more room to look. There's also a camera spot like back on this stuff and like the billboard and stuff, but those are gonna get patched out, so I'm not even gonna show that. Now B is tougher because they patched out all my old camera spots and I haven't found any new ones. I haven't looked for any new ones, but I haven't found any. This one's pretty straightforward, just tripping here and then somewhere over here too. Just to get the mid, just to give mid some support and to give me more time to react if they do push through. Or you can switch things up and you can double trip. You can't really trip anywhere along here, but this you can trip.
This goes here.
And also, if the bomb is down here, if you're ever defending the bomb plant, you can put tripwires all over the place, which really makes it a lot harder for them to defuse it. And there's also a spot right over here. It's somewhere on this garbage can. They might have... No, it's right here, actually.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
It's like a weird angle, and it's kind of hard to see, and you have to hit it to shoot it out. But it's really easy to jump over, so... Not my favorite spot. And as far as cameras go, recently I've just been setting it up kind of behind this thing. It's not really hidden at all, but at least it's a little bit. It sees there, and it can see heaven really well too. So that's the best spot that I found so far. I haven't actually checked if they patched these spots. I know you can set it like here, and it kind of goes in there a little bit, but not really enough to justify putting it there. I'm calling that a good hidden spot. Yeah, it looks like they patched these too, which is super annoying. This could be a spot too. If you're like passively holding it, you can do this and like it's almost like letting them take it and then fighting for a retake, but they're not going to see this camera when they're pushing through. But yeah, you can't put it back here anymore. Actually, wait.
This goes here.
Put that over more.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
See through this? Yeah, this is actually a really good spot right here. Just for more of a passive thing. If you like, even to watch here too on a retake, that could be a useful spot. Oops. Trying to see if I can. Yeah, no, they completely blocked that off.
Yes, this should do.
Okay, yep, this is my new spot right here. Let's see how much you can see it. Oh shit, yeah, that's gonna get patched, but I'm definitely using this one. Is that like... Yeah, you can't see that shit at all. And you can kind of see some heaven too. Alright, yeah, that's the new spot. It's the best setup. And as far as mid setups go, I always strip this off the start. It's just a basic one. You can throw that there every time and it'll slow down the mid push a little bit. And depending on which side I hold, I mean, you can do either one. If you want the extra protection of like holding this side and having it here and making them push through here and hitting that tripwire, you can put it there. Or you can more passively hold this and trip over here. So when they hit that, you can have some free shots on them. Cameras, you can fit them in here a little bit.
Yes, this should do.
I like to put them also a lot at the start of the round. You won't have any angle if you stand over here. You can put it right up there or over here somewhere, and it gives you like a half-second. It gives you a half-second look before they shoot it out, but you can at least tell if there's like one or two pushing that way, or if sometimes you'll be able to see all five.
Ah, okay. This is good. I've got new gadgets to try out.
Okay, A is what I prefer to hold. My go-to camera is always right here. And also at the start of rounds, it takes a long time to walk up here, put that camera down, and walk back down the stairs. If you just jump over here, you don't take any damage. It's kind of hard to hit, and you might fuck it up every now and then, and you'll lose 15 health, but it's not the end of the world. I always trip here. I try not to trip too far over.
This is a nice spot.
Because normally I will hold it right there, and if you have somebody pushing up and they're checking that corner, they'll get hit by this, and they'll be slowed down, which will help their accuracy. And they can get the shot off way before this will pop. So I prefer to have it back a little bit. So even if they do see it and they do shoot it, they'll have to take care of it before they can see me. And then I'll be able to peek them and get some shots off. You can also line it up over here to get it tighter on this wall. Because that's like, it's easy enough to see. I can't really call that hidden at all. But they won't be able to shoot this side at all unless they're pushed in. So if they're trying to check this corner, that makes it kind of impossible. Unless they shoot this first, but if they are shooting this, you should probably have an angle on them, or you can just peek it if they're looking the opposite way. I don't really like to hold this corner though. This is my preferred corner, and I'll explain that in a sec. This spot also up here. Also, by the way, always make sure your tripwires are high enough, because Raze's bot, if that rolls through it, it'll destroy a tripwire, and it doesn't really do anything to the bot, so it kind of sucks. But it does destroy tripwires, and also the last thing you want is people to be able to jump over your tripwires, because if that happens, then they're in for free and you don't even know anything about it unless you have a camera watching it. So yeah, one tripwire there, one tripwire here. This is my go-to setup, especially for like round 2, like the round after the pistol round, because no one's really bought that much, and you can really hold this sight down with whatever pistol you have if you held it, or with an SMG or a Bulldog, whatever. It's super easy to have people hit that, pick up double kills and stuff like that. This camera sees everywhere. It sees really far in the long for being a camera on site, and it also can see really far in the short. So, and you can hold it here the whole time. Like what happens at the start of a round is I'll sit right here, and if you look at the circle on the map, you can see my audio levels and what I can hear. So as soon as people start pushing past, A lobby, I'll hear it if I'm sitting right here in the corner. So I can know pretty quickly, and like nobody really crouches that early on either. So it's a good spot to sit before the round starts. I also forgot to mention that on split on the A side by the second tripwire that I placed. If you stand right up against the wall, you can hear really far back into their spawn, and even through the sewers too. But yeah, that's my A setup. I prefer to hold A because I can solo hold that, and this camera is awesome. B is tougher because it's let in by a doorway, so like cameras are limited on the beginning of the round because your line of sight is limited to this. If I can get it out there, but like I don't really know if there are any good spots out there. I haven't looked very hard, but just from glancing, I don't see many good spots. You could put it there and have their backs being hit by the camera. You would have to hold super passively though, like just don't even peek at all and just wait for them to push in, and you would be able to see a whole lot. But overall, I usually start off with my camera up here. Just look up as high as you can, then jump to get that max distance. And you can see the window pretty well, and you can see the ground a lot too, which is important because if you have it too low, you won't be able to see the floor, and like you never know if someone's crouching under this and you don't have a line of sight on them. So I like to keep this as high as possible, and it gives me a whole lot of vision. As far as tripwires go, one always right here, always right there. It slows down the push through the doorway, which is the most critical push. And I usually set one up here too.
This is a nice spot.
Because it seems like teams either like to push left or they'll sage wall this. And then normally the sage wall makes this useless, so I probably should start tripwiring here instead.
Left goes there.
Because people usually like to push right, I feel like. I don't know. It depends. Whatever they're doing, just react to what the enemy team is doing. But yeah, these tripwires give you a lot of potential to slow them down. Garage is also another one I love to hold. Always trip here, and I always trip here.
Yes, this should do.
Just because having that support over there, if they're pushing C, You can hold B fine yourself because you're gonna be sitting up here, but the usually C is held solo, so giving them something to help them out with a push straight through is always something that I like to do.
This goes here.
For cages are kind of useless now. You could set up the cage that I had, the one-way cage that was over here. It would land on the top of the door, but it doesn't give you any advantage now. But you can still do it just to have the full cage and full have them fully blocked. I usually set my camera up here. That hasn't been patched yet. People don't usually like to look up this high. They don't notice it. It's a pretty good spot until they catch on to it. Then they'll look up there every time. So to switch it up, I usually put it over here. You can't put it too close to this. Actually, no, that's fine. This is fine. You can put it there. But if you put it up too high, this will block it off.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
So like I can't see as far into the courtyard. You can put it on this side too. There's nothing really to hide it there, but it's a switch up. They're not going to see it as much. It gives you a whole lot less vision, but they might be less apt to checking that corner if they already checked the first two. So that's my setup there. For C, if I'm holding C, I'll also keep the tripwire there. That's a low tripwire, but
that goes there.
Just to hammer home that point, don't put your tripwires too low. I also see people putting tripwires like this,
this is a nice
which I think is the dumbest shit in the world because you can walk past that so easily. Even if I get that like perfectly centered.
Yes, this should do.
I'm pretty sure you'd still be able to really easily walk by it on both sides. I've seen some people do it.
This goes here.
Like this too. And sure, that blocks everything off if you're tight enough. I still think you might be able to walk past those. But it's really not worth it. Like if somebody's walking through and they're walking quick, they're going to hit a tripwire no matter what orientation it is. And if they're going slow, they're going to see it anyway. Like that's like still right in front of your face. Like nobody's going to be fooled by that. And you're wasting an extra tripwire if you do the double. And if you do one, you're risking them walking past it. Because if you can, always avoid shooting tripwires because it will give Cypher less info. Unless your whole team is pushing through, then just shoot it. Cameras, this spot was patched. You can put it on the edge of this. It's still just as obvious though. You can see pretty far, but it's pretty obvious still. You can put it close to the edge here. That's about as close as you can go.
That goes there.
It's a little bit hidden, a little bit, but people are still gonna check there. I haven't really looked anywhere else, but I'd imagine they fixed this whole thing.
This goes here.
You can kind of get it behind there. You got a good look at garage here, which actually might be a spot I might start using. And it's a little bit blocked by that curtain, but not enough to really claim as a really good spot. Yeah, nothing crazy over there. Actually, there might be some one-way traps like up in this
cage triggered.
Yep. There's a new one-way trap for you. That was easy to hit too. That's a big chunk you have.
This should do. That goes there. Oh, this is a nice. This goes here.
Easy to hit, huh?
Cage triggered.
Yeah, that has a lot. Maybe I will make a new video on that.
Cage triggered.
I doubt you can get it stuck on the roof. I wonder if you can get it stuck on there.
Cage triggered.
That's not a bad one either. Holy shit, you can see far through that one.
This goes here. Yes, this should do.
Okay, you definitely will be able to do that there too. So like if you're holding back here and they're starting to push up, yeah, you can see back to the edge of the wall. That's an awesome spot. Okay, this might be my new favorite to hold.
It goes there.
Yeah, it might be harder than I thought, but yeah, that won't. That's not really. Actually, shit. Hold on a sec. If you can set that up there.
Cage triggered.
That's tough. How far can I see? That's actually pretty far back. Okay, there's another one. That would be good for the garage hold. If you go from spawn, because this one's tight on time too. You could do this one first.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
Set up tripwire.
That goes there.
And then I need to find a way to. I can definitely line this up here somewhere.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
Is it that one? No, it was this one.
Yes, this should do.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely set upable. And you could hold here too. you could wait to put this tripwire and put it deeper so you're not like someone's not up your ass if they hit it. But if they're pushing that way and then you activate this, they're not going to see you for shit, and you can totally find some, at least find feet to line up a torso shot. So that's another one way. Some more one ways. Now bind is always my favorite. Has been my favorites for defense. I haven't played bind in days. I've only been playing Haven. B is nice because you get the whole hookah room to start out with. I wouldn't be surprised if one day they change the barrier to right here or something. But for B, I don't think this is patched. If you go to the edge of this, you can get a camera up here. Oops. I like to get it as high as the corner as possible. And it sees the push through. That's kind of annoying that that blocks it, but they're not going to be in that blind spot for very long, if at all, really. There's so many places you can tripwire here. You can tripwire there. You can tripwire anything up here. Tripwire before this, though, because I've seen people try and tripwire after, and that's the easiest shit to dodge. Don't just, when you're tripwiring, make sure there's no elevation before your tripwire. I understand that like they can get over it this way, but you're on defense. They're pushing that way most of the time. There's some other weird shit you can do with the tripwires here. You might have seen that activate for a second there, but yeah. Oops, I didn't mean to jump.
Yes.
You can push it on the edges here and get like some really weird shit, and these get blocked by that, so they're gonna have to. I mean, I'm assuming they would be able to shoot through this. Just I'm not sure. No, yeah, I'm in the tripwire thing. Yeah. But they would probably look up to shoot that. But that's another one to very easily walk around. Or you can dodge that in so many ways. So it's kind of stupid. Did they patch this camera spot? Yeah, they didn't even touch bind yet, so I'm afraid of what they're going to patch there. But you can put a camera there too. That's bugged though. I can't even pick it up. You can put a tripwire here too.
This goes here.
It's blocked by this, but you can easily see it there, and you can also easily jump over that. So don't use that tripwire spot. I also like to trip if I'm not double tripping there, because usually with B, I prefer to hold with two people. But if you're not, you can trip one here, one somewhere over here, or you can trip here, which like usually gets shot out, but at least you'll get the info of knowing someone's there. They're not going to jump over this, and if they are like running fast through this, they're going to really get fucked by that. For cameras, this is probably going to get patched, but it still works right now. I'll put one here and see into this spot. They can't, if you look at where the bars are, you're not going to see anything pre-round, but as soon as the round starts, you'll be able to see it. I think this is a legit spot. I hope they don't patch it, but they're probably going to. Yeah, here's also another spot, because once they push in, this is for like better for retakes and playing passive defense. If they push onto site, you're going to have vision of everybody, and they're not going to look. Like, if they check this corner, they really don't have vision of that unless they're looking high enough. And they're not going to look that high anyway. And if you let them push by anyway while the camera's invisible, you can just open it up and see everything. So B is definitely, I mean, A is definitely my favorite to hold. Super simple trips. There first. Or even, I'm trying to break the habit of putting it there, because if you put it closer here, they can't shoot this half. And usually they're looking this way anyway when they're pushing through. Like, they're not going to look towards that when they're pushing through here. So that's my favorite tripwire there. You can also switch this up a whole lot by putting it around like spots like this.
Yes, this should do.
They do push. A lot of times what teams would like to do is they like to cut off vision basically everywhere right here and here, and they can just plant right here. It's kind of broken, I think, that you can plant this easily, because like a sage wall here and a smoke there, and you have the site essentially, and then the defense is playing for a retake. So I prefer to have tripwires as close as possible. You can't really, there's nothing really good over here, but this one you need. This one you kind of have to put, and you can't really switch that up that much. For this one, for this side, this is usually where I try and hold to, and I'm looking this way most of the time. If you look at this wall and put your tripwire as far back as possible, it'll go into this shit over here, and they definitely won't be able to shoot that. They're gonna have to, they will be able to shoot this really easily, but it's a good switch up from here, because people usually trip this right away because it's easy, and you can do it super quickly, and it's really, really predictable. So you can put that there too for a few rounds, but then switch it up to back here, and also really anywhere on this. Like, even if it's just back here, that's actually even better, because they'll have to hit it to, they'll have to hit the tripwire before they can shoot it. So that's actually a spot I should start doing more. Let me keep that there actually.
That goes there.
Just to remind myself. And then this one, same thing.
Wow, this is
As
a
close
nice
as
spot.
possible. And now, when the round ends, if you look at there where they have to hold, they have to wait right up here, which is pretty far off. I don't know if they're ever going to change those walls, but that one's really far back. So when the round ends, I put my camera up here, which is my favorite camera spot. I almost am 100% sure that's going to get patched. But it's kind of hard to see guys when they're close against this wall, but you can see their gun sticking out. When Cypher pulls out his camera, he like pulls his phone out, so you can't see a gun sticking out with him as an example. But just trust me, you'll be able to see guns a little bit when they're like right here. And a lot of times people like to hit right here just to wait once they push through, and you can see a lot of pushing through too. You'll be able to see anybody pushing up because they don't use no one fucking hugs this corner when they're pushing, which would be a complete blind spot, but they're not going to hold that. You could also trip here too if you really wanted to before the round starts. They won't be able to hear it that much, but they might. And with this camera, I usually hold here because you have a lot of spots to retreat to. You have angles on both the cubby and on the bathroom. And when someone's pushing through and they do hold here, and it happens all the time, people always like to sit right here before they're like waiting for their team to push through. You can wallbang that super easily. Of course, you have to give yourself up for the whole... You have to peek this whole corner and give vision on yourself all the way through here, which really sucks. And like you can't really wallbang through it. You can a little bit, and it really is a good spot. You can even hold here. I mean, no, not really, because then you have the same issue. But like holding behind these boxes, you have to make sure this is clear first if you want to do it this way. And for here, you have to make sure this is clear first. But either way, you'll have clear vision, and you can mark like this too. When you're in the camera, you can just ping, and that won't like give. It's not the same as that. Like that's like a projectile, and people can see it. But if you just ping, no one can see that. So you can line that up and just know exactly where they're sitting, and just unloading this with like a vandal or anything, really anything. It's just super easy to wallbang through there. So that's a super easy solo hold for Cypher. You can really send your entire team to B, or at least like on some. If you have some people holding like up here and they can take the teleporter and come back and help you out, or this rotation is really quick. For if you have somebody holding here, looking towards window and towards gardens, they can rotate to help you out really quick, and you can have all the information you need by having a camera here. Or the other cameras I like to put one up here because it's kind of protected and you can see. You can't see all the way, but you kind of give that up when you put it on that half. And when the round starts, I don't think you can... Actually, I think you can put it up here, but I don't like this as much because it's way, way more obvious and you don't really gain that much vision. So I like to have it in a little bit more of a protected spot. I'm not sure how far back you can push it, but like that's like decent too. And it's still pretty hidden. Not really. Yeah, I wouldn't really call that a hidden spot. But you can also put your camera back here before the round starts. Actually, no, right when the round starts. Can you do it from behind the boxes? That would be super nice. Yeah, you can do it from behind the boxes, which shows a whole lot of that. This side, when they're right here, it's clearly a pretty big blind spot when they're in the cubby itself, but you can see the initial push at least, which like if you have your camera out and open at the beginning, you'll see anybody pushing through, and this isn't usually a spot to look either. If the offense is pushing through here, like that's really hard to see. Yeah, there's a light on it, and they might be able to see it a little bit, but maybe if you put it more to its left. So like back here. I like kind of putting it behind the ladder though. Putting it here, you kind of have for the first split second, you have this towel blocking vision of it. Maybe even put it a little closer to the ladder. But that like that could help a little bit because if they like check this right away, maybe they won't see it. Just another thing to think about when placing that camera, but that's one spot you can put it. You can also put it back here. This sees sight really well. If you're defending a bomb, you can't ping through it, but like with the you can't use the camera's dart through it, but you can still ping, obviously. Actually, wait, no, sometimes it is blocked and it'll ping right on it. That's another issue with screens on split, is you can't even do this kind of pinging. Which you can't do it here either, but that's not really the end of the world, because if you're like, you could really, even on a retake, you can put, set your tripwires up like this the exact same way. Just hold here. You even put a tripwire here. Hold whichever side you want, probably this side. I would honestly put the tripwire over here. just to hold them off. You can put that one close, though, because if you're sitting over here, you could maybe get a peek off, but you're exposing your whole back there. But either way, tripwire there. Or you can even put both the tripwires back here, because if you have your camera up there and you're holding this, you'll have both tripped, so you won't be getting pushed there unless... You'll know when you get pushed. And here you can see anybody pushing up towards you, and you can see pretty much the entire bomb site. You can see up to heaven, and anywhere you can plant on the attacker side, you'll pretty much be able to see. Even this spot right here, right there, if someone's defusing, you might catch a foot or something like that and be able to see, or you'll be able to hear it, but you'll see people pushing up to it. So that's a great spot for a retake if you're defending a bomb plant, which, like, Cypher sucks on offense until you get the bomb down. Then he's one of the best. And he's a must pick anyway on defense, so learning how to defend a bomb plant with Cypher is definitely a good idea. So that's great for retakes there. B is definitely my favorite to hold. I mean, A is definitely my favorite to hold. You can switch up more if you want by putting tripwires here and stuff and holding, like, this edge. Because if you get, like, shot a couple times, people are trying to push you through, they might try and run fast through this and chase you down. Easy kills there. But yeah, that's bind. That's all the maps, I think. Yeah, I covered them all. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave in the comments what you want to see next. If you haven't already, go check out my Twitch channel. The link for that is in the description. And